I have a katana collection.
Even further beyond!
I keep all my manga-only shows.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Anime, a massively huge genre of animation. It's blown up in recent years, providing many amazing works of art. Even with all these beautiful shows coming out, you still see people hating on anime for what seems like no reason, using the term weeaboo, making fun of their body pillows, and other middle school insults. These people who dislike anime and everything around it sometimes haven't even seen a single show. So how'd this strange preconceived notion about anime even come about? Why are so many people against anime in America? Well, that is exactly what we're talking about today. Anime in America has an interesting history. Commercially, anime has been around in the US since the early 60s, having existed in Japan since decades prior. We have Astro Boy, Speed Racer, Kimba the White Lion, and plenty of other animes being introduced to America in the 1960s. These three in particular had some success and were seen in the same way as American cartoons. The style between Japanimation and American cartoons didn't differ very much back then, so people only knew that these shows were Japanese if they were told that. Through the 70s and into the 80s, anime developed a lot, in mostly positive ways to many Americans. Dubbing anime started to become more of a thing at this time, with America never really having needed this in the past. The shows relied on fan dubs for Americans to be able to understand them until the late 70s and early 80s. It wasn't until 1988 that companies were being created for the sole purpose of dubbing anime. With the 80s, Studio Ghibli appeared, many Western targeted shows, and Osamu Tezuka, the creator of Astro Boy, got himself a gig on Disney Channel showing off his anime features. Dragon Ball, Transformers, Fist of the North Star, My Neighbor Totoro, and so many other animes were thriving in America. The 90s saw arguably the biggest boom in Western anime consumption. At this point, it seemed like anime was unstoppable. The term Japanimation was thrown out and replaced with anime, Cartoon Network released their Toonami block, and so many classics appeared. Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Cowboy Bebop, and a plethora of others exploded in America. Now, at this time, anime was seen as a very cool and interesting genre of cartoon in America. I mean, when you watch Dragon Ball Z and Fist of the North Star, as a kid in the 90s, you'll probably think anime is pretty badass. That was a common consensus at the time in America. It wasn't until the millennia rolled over that things started to change. Anime morphed from solely action-based cartoony style shows to also having romance style shows. The romance slice of life genre of anime was largely successful. This genre bred a multitude of super anime fans that didn't just have a statue of Goku or a Pokeball collection, but many much stranger objects. And even before these types of shows surfaced, there were still many fans like this, but they were in small number and very similar to any other franchise superfan. But with the 2000s and the internet blowing up, seeing and talking to these people was a lot easier. Now obviously the 2000s have way more to offer than what I've been talking about, like countless shows that paved the way for anime's future. If you want to hear about the entire history of anime in depth, click the card in the top right. But for the sake of this video, I'll just be talking about anime's reputation. The term Wapanese surfaced around 2002, and who could have created this other than the brilliant minds on 4chan? This term was used to describe people in America who seemingly were too attached to Japan or anime while not being at all Japanese. People on 4chan frequently use this word to make fun of people, and it was used so much in fact that moderators decided it needed a filter. To filter something on 4chan, you take that word, letter, or number that you want filtered, find a random word to replace it, and bada boom, that word now never shows up. So in 2005, 4chan moderators finally decided Wapanese had to be removed due to its negative connotations, and they needed a word to replace it with. Lucky for them, a comic came out that same year and included the perfect nonsense word for them to use. So moving forward, every time someone typed Wapanese, it came out as weeaboo. Of course, this was a random string of letters back then, but now its meaning is cemented in the way Americans look at anime. The word was even used in one of popular YouTube personality Filthy Frank's videos. And even though every definition of weeaboo specifically says that weeaboos aren't just people who watch anime, the word still took negative meaning towards those people who just watched anime. Unfortunate that they were hit in this battle's crossfire. So now we have completely normal people who watch anime who straight up lie about watching, and even some cases of people making fun of anime watchers while watching themselves. This is kind of a part of the problem. From these recent years where weeaboo became a mainstream term, it's kind of been losing its luster. People shortened the term to just weeb, and now weeb is a casual term for an anime watcher. We see weebs calling each other weebs all the time. So in a way, the casual anime watcher has taken back that word that was used so offensively. But all in all, people can do what they want and like what they like, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else.